Hey everybody, Superfluous J here with another Factorio for beginners. And last episode we set up a smelting array for iron. This episode we're going to do the same thing for copper. We're basically going to do the exact same thing we did before, and there's a convenient way to do that. You can hit Control C, just like you could in any other application that you would possibly want to do, and you can highlight whatever you want to copy, and then you get a copy of it. And then you can hit Control V. Well, you can actually just click on it, but then you can hit Escape or 1 or whatever you want to hit to clear it out. And then if you want to paste it later, you can do Control V to paste it again. And I think I'm actually going to paste it 4 times, and then I may actually paste it again. But let's stick with that. We're just going to leave these here. Notice these are ghosts; these aren't actually here. In order to make them be here, we have to place them down. So let's go ahead and run our copper line here. And this isn't the perfect way to do it, but that'll get the job done. And we're stuck with ghosts. Let's go up here and grab some more belts, because we're going to need a lot. 179 should do the trick. Let's also grab as many splitters as there are. That should be enough to do this line. And now all I need to do here is draw what I told myself to draw before. And we'll leave that at that, and we'll let Cole do its thing later. Now I'm going to just draw these lines here, and now I've got the exact same thing over here that I was doing over there. And then we're going to need a lot of things. This is worth noting. If I put a let's see where I can do it here. Let's do it right here. There's nowhere good to do it. Normally, let's do it up here. Normally, if you place a this actually needs power. If you place a inserter next to a line of stuff, it will take it off and put it in the empty space that it's sitting on. This is technically an empty space because there's nothing here, but this inserter knows that there's a ghost there, which is super convenient because that means it's not going to grab anything off the belt because of that, which is really nice, as long as you remember that, and as long as you remember to not as long as you remember to not accidentally delete your ghost, because you delete a ghost, then it's going to pick stuff off up the line, which is bad. I think I got myself in an endless loop here. Okay, we're going to do that. We've only got, we don't have any more smelters here to go at the moment, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, though. We have plenty to go. Now we want to run this line, which is going to be a little hokey, but what are you going to do? This is our starter base, and it doesn't matter. We got the coal line coming down there, so I'm going to separate these guys by 1. So that they do that, and then we'll run him like this, and then we need a space from the coal line, and I guess we can put him right here, bring him up here, and boom, we're automating our circuits again, which is good. As soon as we get copper up here, so they go in here, then the circuits are going to start going. Now you notice we're really not making very much iron, and we're eating it up off of the line right now. So the first thing we really probably want to do is expand our iron production. And we've also noticed we've got a backup of iron on this line, so we obviously can handle more from here than we're currently making. Which of course means that these lines I just laid were laid poorly, but that's just what you get. So I'm just going to delete these lines, and then we're going to do another copy paste. We're going to copy here, and then I'm going to paste right down below it, and that's why I made 4, because now this is like the perfect amount. We can paste this down forever if we wanted to, which we don't, but I mean, we could. I think I'm going to make some smelters by hand here. Let's just make 10, 15, 20, 24 total. I like multiples of numbers here. Let's get this going. And like I said, you can you can hover over a ghost and hit Q, and it'll pick up that item, and that makes it easy to drop that item back down. And we're out of arms, but guess what? We are making them up here. Just take, what do we got, 86? That's pretty good. And I'm just placing them down here. Whoops, I rotated when I didn't need to. And then get the smelters going. And I can drag the smelters down because they're the last thing to go, and the power poles were in the way, so I could just click and drag, and it would only place them where it was available. If I did that before I put the power poles down, it would have drawn over the power pole, which is not what you want generally. So now we've got double the smelting here, and now these things are smelting. Sadly, it doesn't tell you. It might tell you here. I like to show how to make things, but now see, it doesn't actually tell you here. Well, yeah, it takes 3.2 seconds to craft this in a furnace. So this takes 3.2 seconds to make. Belts, if you look on the right, they run 15 items per second, or actually 7.5, because we're only using half the belt. So this yellow belt, you know what? I'm not even going to talk. I'll do the math off camera. I can't do that kind of math in my head. But the short of it is, we want 24 of these. So let's go ahead and continue this. Looks like I don't have enough of the belt, but I think this is the right number. So let's run this down. Let's run this down, and let's run this down. And are we seriously out of belts again? We are seriously out of belts again. Luckily, we have more up here. Sadly, it's not very many more. So we're gonna need to get this line back in place here. I might even need to suck it up and make some myself. Yeah, I need like 2 more belts. There we go. Now this stuff is going to start actually getting back to the thing. And did I just put that? I did. I put that in the copper line. At least I figured it out ahead of time. The problem is, now I don't have enough belts probably to reach up to this line. Nope, I don't. There we go. Now we've got iron going back. And let's put our power poles down. I'm clicking these, not click dragging. And then I can just click drag these because the power poles are in the way. What did I do here? I guess it doesn't matter, but I like my arms to be nice and nice and set up. Oops. See, like, oh. Okay, is that all of them running now? I believe it is. And you notice now that we've cleared out the backlog of iron ore coming through. So now the problem isn't any longer that we don't have enough smelters. The problem is that we don't have enough miners. So let's go ahead and make more miners. And how many can we make? 5. We'll make 4. I like to keep it even, especially at the beginning here. And also we should look at our power. We're still pretty good, but we're starting to come up, getting close to that 1.9. It might be a good idea to start thinking about doubling it again. Well, we want to put 2 miners here. And when the time comes, 2 miners here. And we want to do the same thing that we did before, where we go underground every other time. And it looks like we need some more belts. There we go. And that miner. So now we have more iron coming down the line. And ideally what we're going to want is a full belt. And a full belt of iron will come down here and make a full belt of iron plates coming off the line. But the important thing is here, the real important thing is that this is backed up. Iron is backed up, and so we don't have to worry about how much we're smelting at the moment, because we obviously have enough. Similar for copper, but we just have to run it down. and around. And then obviously top this off, and we had exactly the right number, which is awesome. And now when copper gets up there, then we will we'll be able to make everything. So then we're good. And then we can finally start thinking about getting science back running, because we don't have any science running at the moment, and I don't like that at all. We also don't have bullets being produced, but I'll worry about that in a minute. So let's go ahead and pick all this up. Don't need any of this anymore, and we don't need these power poles. And we don't need, actually we need everything else. So this is going to be a beginning version of what we had going on before. Or what, I'm sorry, this is going to be a beginning version of what we're going to be doing eventually, which is we've got the bus here, and we're making all of our stuff, and then we're going to put science up above it, kind of out of the way. But basically anything that we make down here that needs to be made into science, we're going to just run it up here, shove it into a factory, and get science made. And I think I'm going to do it just in this area right here. And so what we're going to do here is we need iron gears, and we need copper plates. So what we want to do here is let's actually make this machine make red science. And oh, we need more belts. Let's go ahead down here and grab more belts. Might as well grab some undergrounds too, because we're running low on them. We got plenty of inserters at the moment, so I won't worry about those. And what we want to do here is currently we're just taking these guys out and sending them down here. So instead, what we want to do, or as well, I should say, what we want to do is, and you know what, we probably only need one of them. So let's do that, and then we're gonna run that underground so that the iron keeps going this way. And I think if I put this here, yeah, that's perfect. So now he's going to put whatever those things are called, gears, over here. So we want gears and we want copper. So I'm going to split the copper off this way. And I want the copper to only be on the inside of the belt. Because this is going to put on the far side of the belt, right? So what I want to do here is, actually let's do it this way. This is the smart way to do it. We're going to run these guys together kind of like we did down here with the smelters, where if you come in from the side of a belt on either side, then it's going to put it on one side, not the other. We're going to do a very similar thing where he's putting on the belt like this, the copper's coming that way, and then they're going to go off like this and be on either side of the belt. And I need this back. Okay, that can go there. Okay, now this can put into here with a power pole. And then he can take out, and we're going to take out onto a belt so that we're putting it on the actual belt. So we can much like the smelting array, we can run this to some factories. We'll just run it over here. It doesn't really matter how far away currently. This is just to kind of get the idea of what we're doing. Oh, and it thinks that we're placing our first science lab down because we don't have any. Let's start with optics, because it's getting dark at night. We would like to be able to light up the factory a little bit. So we're gonna tell it to do optics, and then we're gonna run that guy here, and then we're gonna run some power over to it, and we should probably put it on the far side, and then just make sure that it connects. And then boom, now he's running optics, which is nice. This is giving us enough of these resources to generate science, and he's using the science, and we're good. I'm not going to worry about it too much past that. Moving on, we need more things on our belt, or on our bus. We need to make factories, or assemblers, really is what they're called. And we have all the tools to make assemblers. We need, if you look at this, for assemblers, you need iron plates, iron gears, and electronic circuits. Well, we have that. We've got iron plates. This is gears and circuits. We can put a power pole right there, and then he's going to make those things, and just like before, we'll put them in a box, and I think we only need one box worth. Now, he's going to be really starved for electronic circuits because he's taking them all, and we're obviously not making enough. I probably should have made 2 of these. It wouldn't be that hard to do, and I actually think I'm going to. I left this space for more arms, but I think actually instead of that, we'll duplicate what we have here. And here's a trick. You can Control C, copy these, and then when you Control V or just paste, it pastes the things. And oh, that was another thing I should tell you. Let me hit Z. Oh, Control Z doesn't work. That's funny. Excuse me. Oh, like cough. Yeah, I hit Control Z too many times. Control Y doesn't work, does it? No. Yeah. I should probably do a lesson on Control Z and Control V, but I was kind of planning on saving most of that until we have robots. But if you hit Control Z at any time, it just undoes the last thing you did, which can be dangerous if you walk away and you don't realize that you've marked that thing for deletion. It will stay deleted forever. So watch out for that. But yeah, let me get rid of these. Let me actually get rid of all these power poles too for the moment. If I come back here and I do Control V on this guy and then paste it here and then paste down the factories, it actually remembers that I wanted what I wanted here, which is super convenient. I'm going to bring up turrets and just get them going because we're going to want to look at turrets before the end of the episode anyway. But yeah, so it makes it really easy to get. Let me get my power poles here. There we go. It makes it really easy to get to copy and paste big things. And if you saw before, I had factories here already. When I pasted these factories over them, it just pasted in the request. Like it pasted in that it wanted wires here, and it pasted in that it wanted circuits here. So it was super convenient that it did that, because then it allowed me to it allowed me to not have to worry about deleting these factories and then pasting them back down again or something crazy like that. It just worked, which is one of the nice things about Factorio. A lot of times things just work. Okay, anyway, moving on. We want this, and now we've just doubled our green circuit production, which hopefully will allow this machine to occasionally, as this guy goes, yep, see, he can't grab them fast enough now, and this guy's able to get some and make those, which is nice. So we're chugging along. We've got good amount of production here going. I'm pretty happy. So lights. Let's make some lights. Lights are nice. They should go everywhere in your factory. Oh, I should probably take these science packs. I got 6 of them just sitting in my pocket. Might as well stuff them in this lab here. Oh, here's another thing. Notice we've still got science on the belt. This guy's making science faster than he can eat it. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to over research too much. So I'm going to make another lab, and then we're going to put it next to it here. And what we can do here is we can feed into that lab. Actually, I'm going to... Sorry, let me pick this up. I'm going to put the lab here instead, now that I think about it. And then I can feed into that lab with with an arm out of the lab. You don't want to do this too much, because he can, like, if you have too many of these, then they end up passing science around, and the labs actually end up empty of science, and then they're not actually doing any research. But if we do it like this a couple times, maybe 4 times, 8 times, I think is the maximum, it doesn't hurt anything. At least it doesn't hurt too much. But we're not researching anything right now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, lights. Oops, I forgot to stuff this last one in the labs. Let's do that. Just get that in there. Lights. Let's make some, because conveniently it's nighttime. So lights, you just put them down really anywhere, and they light up the area around them. So it's nice to kind of spread them around your base a little bit, so that you can. I guess you can't put one there. Doesn't really matter exactly where you put them. But I like to not put them around labs, and I like to not put them around smelters, because smelters light themselves, and labs also light themselves when they're running. So it's a nice visual indicator that that things are working. And speaking of things working, I remember this box. should really be a belt like that because I forgot that I was I put that box up there and then I never took it out. I also want to get rid of all this coal. Let's just go ahead and I'm just going to click drag, dump all my coal in here because I don't need coal in my hand anymore. I also don't want this copper in my hand anymore. I got a ton of copper in my inventory that I'm going to dump into these guys so that they've got it, and then I can dump the last of it into this guy, and now we'll start to get a backup of copper because it won't be using it from the thing. I also picked up my radar. Let's go ahead and drop that back down so we get radar coverage. I've got some copper wire. Let's dump it in that machine, and I think we're good from that point on. Everything else I kind of want in my hand. One more thing that's important. Notice coal is slowly moving this way. That means we're actually burning more coal than we're mining right now, which is bad. Also, this guy, he still has 5 coal under him. No, he has 5 coal in his fuel. Notice he's not going anymore. This guy has 1,000 coal. This guy has none. So this has been used up. So that's one of the problems. And these guys, this guy is also used up. You got to watch for the animations. He's animating. He's not. So that's one of the reasons we don't have enough coal. Another reason is just we're using more. So I'm gonna run a whole line of these guys across, basically mass producing what we had before. And I don't know how many of these I have. I have 3. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. And of course I dumped off all my iron, so I can't make any more. So I'm just running on the belt with F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think I'm going to start on this guy. And I, of course, don't have any coal, so let me take some coal out of him. Put half in him. Where'd I get 20 coal from? Oh, I'll put half all the way down the line just to get these guys started faster. And then now they're gonna send a lot more coal down the line to up here. Another thing you can do is I would rather these furnaces, these steam engines run than my furnaces down here. So I'm going to click this and say output priority to the left. And now coal will only go to the left until it backs up, and then it'll go down here. That way coal prioritizes my my steam engines, which are by far the more important thing. Also, I should check power again. As soon as you see this yellow, do you see that? We're using more power than we're generating. So we want to, once again, double our power. Like I said, you end up doing this kind of thing a lot. And for that, we need 1 boiler, 2 steam engines, and we're probably going to need a couple pipes and another burner inserter. So that's this guy right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did before, but notice this power pole's in the way. So we can't put these right side by side. We're going to put this guy here. We're going to put this guy here, and then we're going to put the boiler here, and then these aren't connected. That's why I made the pipe. We're going to put a pipe here, and then the stupid power pole's in the way. So we're going to do that. Run this belt a little bit, and then put another guy here, and then he's going to throw some coal into this guy. And boom, we just doubled our power again. If you want to look at the power here, see we're down to half instead of this getting knocked down. So things are looking better. Things are looking better. Also, we're now making enough coal from these guys that coal's starting to head down this way again, which is nice. Okay, last up on the docket, or how long have I been recording? 25 minutes? Yeah, we'll talk about it. Turrets. We want to make some turrets. We need copper and iron. So let's make some iron. Let's get some iron. Let's get some gears and copper, and we'll make a turret. Turrets are nice because they defend your base without you having to worry about it. And it's very important in the game to defend your base, because if biters start coming and attacking, you're in some serious trouble. So the green circle around this guy is how far he will be able to aim. So I'm going to kind of stick him out here a little bit, so any biters coming from this way are going to get met by him first. Then I'm going to take half of the bullets out of my gun and put... Actually, I'll put them all in, and I'll take half of them back out, because 32 bullets is actually quite a lot in the early game. I don't want to waste them on turrets. But now, any biters who would come through here to attack these, which make a lot of pollution, so they are a likely target for the biters to attack, they'll see this turret and they'll go for it, and the turret will see them and it'll shoot them, which is very nice. I'm going to make another turret because I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm not going to put it in the resource patch because that way, there we go. Take half of these, put them in him, take half out. 24 is perfectly fine. And now any biters coming this way will see him, and he'll defend our miners from that. And anybody coming after these should probably walk by him as well. This isn't great coverage, but it's good enough coverage at this time of the game. And the reason I put them over here is, as I've mentioned before, our neighbors are right over here, and they, when the pollution does get to them, if I don't take care of them first, they're going to come over this way and attack probably these miners because they're the closest things to them. So that's why I like to put the turrets over there. And I could put a couple lights out in the mining fields here just to get some light on the subject. Right in between these is pretty good. And then maybe I'll put one here as well, just to get some light going. And you notice that these guys are actually making too much coal, which is perfectly fine. Coal isn't that, like, it doesn't get used that much. It's super critical, but it doesn't get used that much. So one half belt for the entire factory right now is perfectly fine. Eventually it won't be, as is always the case, but right now it's perfectly fine. And we're making belts, we're making assemblers, we're making arms. Actually, we're not making arms anymore because these are full, which is nice. And we are ready to expand even further. But that's going to be next time. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm Superfluous J, and I will, as always, talk at you later.